Okay, so I don't know if they just didn't see the message or what, but we are about to begin now, finally. And on the defense, again, will be that ex-REUNITED squad playing as TBA in this bracket. They just haven't thought of a name yet. There's so many good ones: D-United, Ununited, We United. Like, you can basically just tack anything on the front at this point.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe they're waiting for like another name like TSM or something like that to come in and occupy that name. Of course, just rumors as of now. But yeah, look, it looks like Reunited. This is a very strong squad. We have seen a lot of what they can bring to table, and this composition. I don't know if they're trolling me, but they have been changed. They do have Rubicon on the Ana. Maybe this is the difference. Maybe they want to. They're like, okay, well, we need to add 2 healers to keep everyone alive on this composition. But I think both of these teams have played each other one iteration before on this map, so I would not be surprised if they're used to what they're going to be seeing. Would not be surprised if they were, they predicted they're trying to get some reads on the competition here. But Cruz, Voltaja on those dive characters, on the Genji and the Tracer. I mean, that's pretty standard. I don't know if Cruz has played anything else, but he might not need to at all if he's able to execute properly.
Yeah, Cruz is playing a ton of Genji in today's games. I think he did play it last time around as well when they did mass DPS and defense like this. But yeah, no Zen this time around. It's going to be Ana and Lucio, as you mentioned. Basically, just a little more healing to keep up their flimsy damage dealers. And Sherrick is the only tank, puts kind of a lot of pressure on him to keep the healers alive. They're not going to be playing that high hallway at all. And I think last time Pale Goldenrod actually capitalized on that by just marching up into the high hallway and dropping down onto the point. I don't really recall exactly how that fight unfolded, but they didn't dive at all. They just went up in the high hallway and took it from there. So looks like we'll be seeing a repeat of that.
Yeah, and hopefully that is going to be good. Right now we're on Unfix's camera right now as they're coming out of the upper chokehold. They just want to make sure that, hey, we can put in some fresh damage on there. And Sharik is going to jump into the backline, and meanwhile Cruz doing as much damage as he can, trying to zip through, get as much dash damage as he can. And now he's drifting back, trying to make sure that he can catch some damage on Draft or anyone else in the backline. Soto, who was instrumental to this push last time, will be taken out extremely early, so that's not enough. That's not enough catch that they realistically have. Cruz throws up the deflect, and we'll see if he can engage on the target. Unfix raining from above. Unfix is definitely doing a lot more damage. Once again, the side of Pale Goldenrod not really addressing him right now, and as the rest of his team is able to clean it up, they are able to get a very, very good hold on this first point. Only losing Sharik in all of that, but they have been able to defend, and now Cruz will have his Dragon Blade very soon. And it looks like the side of the Ultimates will be on the side of this ex-Reunited squad as they regroup for the second push from the side of Pale Goldenrod.
I'll give Rubicon some props there. Basically, solo dids. He just kind of actually out-soldiered the soldier by playing Ana at a high level. Sherrick actually getting hooked in there, but drops the bubble and gets healed up in time. No problems there. As this team continues to press in, they're basically just taking a lot of damage from all sides until they decide to make a move. Here comes a Nano Visor out for dids, focusing down Winston immediately. So there's no tanks on the field here for the defense. It's just up to Unfix to try and keep dealing some damage actually while that Nano Visor ends. You've got Cruz now dropping the Dragon Blade. Mort actually got a kill onto Dids. Looks like he may have moved him off the map. Soodle's still standing on the point though, and they do secure that second tick. It's just Lucio and a Tracer on the point against 3 attackers. We'll see who comes out on top as Sherrick returns to the fight. Looks like he's going to zap down Lucio, and ex-REUNITED should manage to maintain the point.
Yeah, and Voltaja almost going down right there would have been bad because they would have lost some of their DPS dealers, but Voltaja obviously staying alive, and they actually didn't get that second tick. They may have just missed it actually. So the only 1 tick left on the clock with 1 minute 40 seconds remaining. They do have that Graviton switch, which they can combo into a variety of things, variety of options. They do have the whole hog, which will be coming up very soon, as well as the Earth Shatter. So they can use it as a great way to divide, right? You catch people out, force them to go through a choke point, and use that to their advantage. But right now, Morte does drop the sound barrier, negating a lot of the damage and making it not very appetizing for it. Dreft gets so much followed by that Earth Shatter, and it looks like they're trying to do as much damage as they can. Rubicon dropping a lot more of the healing debuff as possible, trying to make sure they can't even heal through it. Soldier, honestly gets that Zarya show, keeps them alive, but Underfix still able to drill through a Dreft in the background. Just gonna get staggered from there. There's not a lot of answers they can have. The side of ex-Reunited using that sound barrier to negate so much of the extra damage, knowing that, hey, they're gonna Graviton combo into something. They've given up so many ults with less than 1 minute left. I don't know if they have a specific way to break through this first point.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They just don't have the range that they need. Drodo is onto Winston now, and they have changed things up, adding Genji and Tracer to the composition, basically going full dive themselves. So hopefully the completely new look is enough to actually secure a kill. Cruz is going to be under the gun very quickly here, but looks like Ana and Lucio able to keep him up well enough to escape the point. The fact that he did not secure that second tick was a little bit surprising and disheartening, but Cruz, Unfixed, Morte all getting kills here means that Pale Goldenrod basically is shut down for this entire map. This fight is going to continue on. Yeah, I think Tracer, even being able to escape, there's just not enough time to get back to the fight and have a cohesive push against what ex-REUNITED has already got standing with their Nano Blade combo, for example. 5 seconds left. The fight should continue, maybe if Tracer's close enough, but otherwise, it's still going to be ex-REUNITED taking it handily, I think.
Yeah, and right now everyone's just drifting in, slowly trying to get onto the point, and Cruz in the back wants to even jump onto him with that Dragon Blade, cleaning up the rest of the fight, trying to make sure they can't even claim overtime at all. That team kill bell rains out, and man, REUNITED setting quite the tone for this last game of the day, going up with that full hold. And honestly, this puts so much pressure on Pale Goldenrod. Pale Goldenrod had indeed full held them before, but at the same time, they were just looking so dominant. It looked like Pale Goldenrod just was lost for answers. Unfixed was able to rain down so much fire from above, and Voltage and Cruz playing off each other, allowing them to kind of divert attention for a lot of different things, and that's what we have to realistically do.
Yeah, they have to go full hold territory this time, or all is lost. They'll be down one game in this BO3 series that determines A, who goes home, and B, who moves on to the playoffs tomorrow, which again, it's 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. Central European time. So don't miss tomorrow's matches as well. We'll have the top 8 teams from today's action battling it out in a, is it single elim or double elim for tomorrow? Do you know?
I'm actually not entirely sure. We can ask someone who's in chat to let us know. And the reason why we're using TBA as a name is I feel like using ex-REUNITED is, while it's good, I do think that their team name has not been announced yet. They have not given us a name. I don't think they necessarily wanted to give us Team ex-REUNITED as one, but we'll be calling them ex-REUNITED because that's just easier to say on the cast.
It will be a single elim bracket tomorrow, BO3s until the finals, which is a BO5. So going to be seeing the top 8 teams battle to the death tomorrow. Every single match will be an elimination, and that's what we've got right here. Basically, TBA is showing a very solid start on Numbani, the map that they lost to the same team earlier today. So if they can basically just take point A in any amount of time, they will take a lead in this series.
Yeah, and this is honestly very interesting right now. We have Unfixed on the Pharah, and Unfixed has been quite the magician on the Rocket Queen. Going to be able to weave back and forth and use it to his advantage. And right now, Dids does have immediate response. He does have that soldier, which will be able to respond to it. But however, honestly, their positioning on this point is relatively good. They're assuming they're going to do a top rank push again, and Unfixed takes Dids immediately out of the air. How does that happen so quickly? And right now, the side of Pale Goldenrod is struggling for answers. They lost their one big DPS dealer. Sharik is in the backline, causing so much problems, dividing up all the attention of everyone. And man, TBA was just like, oh yeah, you know what? That last game that you played, yeah, that was just practice. We're going to go for you guys right now. And Did's no way to run from there. And wow, that was quick.
Yeah, they asserted their dominance on that one. Just the immediate opening kill onto Soldier meant that Winston and Ana were a lot more alone when Genji and Winston finally got to them. Everything just paid off with 2 nice rocket hits, and that's all REUNITED, former REUNITED squad needed, even though it says Pale Goldenrod wins at the end. I still don't understand these custom games sometimes. Anyway, ex-REUNITED taking that map in a pretty strong fashion. Now with Nepal or Route 66 as the options for Pale Goldenrod, they've lost their last 3 games straight, so can't feel great right now as momentum-wise against this REUNITED squad that just carved them up like this. Still there, Scribe?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry. Yeah, I was just making sure to send it back to lobby. We are waiting for one more person, I think. I think someone dropped out.
Yep, and we'll need to get their map choice as well. It's either going to be Nepal or Route 66.
Rubicon logged out, only to log back in, so Rubicon will be back alive. And now we're asking for the map choice. Remember, the maps that are available will be Route 66 or Nepal. And I'm not sure, honestly, if I'm Pale Goldenrod, I'm not even sure what map I take them back on. You know, that Numbani was probably the best you could realistically do it, right? I think that's like your optimal first map choice where you can hopefully come into the next segment with a win. But man, this has got to be tense because they don't want to bring them back to Nepal per se, and no one wants to play Route 66. So it could be one or the other, and TBA has just been showing how dominant they are with the DM. I mean, Unfixed seems like super strong, and yes, they will be bringing it to Route 66, which is a little bit, honestly, a little surprising, but at the same time, we will see how that goes. I'm just asking that they're ready up. In the meantime, we'll also be changing. Yes, changing this stuff.
Okay, so this could potentially be the last game of the tournament today, as it is the last map potentially for this group, as ex-REUNITED are looking to escape past the team that beat them earlier today, Pale Goldenrod. And so far, Pale Goldenrod have not looked nearly as strong in their most recent games here. They got full held on Numbani when earlier today they were the ones doing the full hold. So Route 66, of course, very, very low potential for a draw, basically impossible as it is a full payload map. We'll have to see if the distance favors up Pale Goldenrod or ex-REUNITED. Actually, ex-REUNITED starting on the offense this time, coming off the back of that Numbani win, should give them some nice momentum. If they can find an early pick like they did last time, should be no contest at all. But Pale Goldenrod still have looked strong, despite losing their last few games. Soodle on the Roadhog and Dids on the Soldier have been showing up quite a lot today. Drodo on the Reinhardt needs to hit some delightful Earth Shatters to make sure he can keep his team in the running here.
Yeah, I think the biggest testament to how well the ex-REUNITED squad has come back is they've been running the same composition. They haven't really been changing anything much. The only big change that's had was Unfixed playing Farah on offense, which he had done on Hollywood as well. So it's a little surprising to see that they've been able to use this exact same composition. And this is good, right? Because as you proceed into the playoffs, you want to make sure you're not showing your opponents anything else that you have in the back of your arsenal. So if you can win with one composition all the time, and all your teams can see from this new squad. Remember, this is actually the first tournament they've ever been playing against, so this is actually completely new data for a lot of teams. If they only show you one composition, you can't prepare for when they bring in like a double tank composition or they don't play a triple DPS lineup, right? So this is going to be very interesting to see where they specifically go. You know what? We're going to jump on with Cruz right now, who has just been a stellar Genji, and hey, maybe he deserves to play some more Genji in his time.
Yeah, Cruz has been doing pretty well on Genji all day long. As we continue out the gate here, it's going to be 3 tank defense plus soldier. I've seen this out of Pale Goldenrod basically every time, so not too surprised there. On top of gas station, they're just waiting for the perfect time to drop down. Sometimes you wait until Reinhardt's shield is broken. Sometimes you just wait for it to reach the absolute corner, so it's just a little bit easier to defend it when you're returning from spawn. But Dids is going to be the first one down here. Soodle follows shortly after, so ex-REUNITED not messing around again, finding some quick kills. Vitaja finds a third, and now should be easy cleanup here for this point A take.
Yeah, and the funny thing is they even left the cart behind just to, fight that 1v1 deathmatch. They wanted to make sure that, hey, we want to take this fight to them. And Shu right now will get staggered. Good job from Unfixed taking him down. They're escorting the cart as fast as possible. And they have all very high ultimate meters. Voltaja right now will be getting the pulse bomb. And pulse bombs Drodo just as Drodo tries to just come back and contest the point just a little bit. So Voltaja showing off like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, I am the best tracer on this server right now. But yeah, being able to become on fire so early on in the match, and now they're just pushing on. This is a very no-respect style. They're just pushing into the backline. Voltaja just doesn't care. Takes out Sebastian in the backline. Shu needs to stay alive, otherwise they're going to get staggered. And this is so bad on the side of Pale Goldenrod. The supports were just waiting here, waiting for the rest of the team to come, not realizing that, TBA would just be pushing through the entire map.
Yeah, TBA remembered how to just focus down those healers. They actually got both supports there long after the fight had ended, so great little bonus pickup there, forcing them on the long spawns. Now there's no defense in the streets. They don't have time to set up on high ground. Cruz and Vitaja both doing a good job just staying in the face of the defense. Drodo does finally get up to the point where you would normally contest, but there's a Dragon Blade out in the backline. Genji gets hooked immediately. Soodle doing a great job on the Genji defense force there. Earthshatter comes out and does catch a couple of members of the attacking team, so Drodo has his little heroic moment. unfixed, launches attack visor for no effect. Valutage is still terrorizing the backline here. Sherrick actually still bashing people away as Winston as well. So this fight, even though it looked really, really good for Pale Goldenrod, is still continuing on and in favor of ex-REUNITED now.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if I should just never switch off Voltage, because the guy, Voltage just simply never dies in this situation and has been honestly executing so well in the backline. Now, this is what's so important about having, you know, a very strong Tracer who's able to stay alive. You force the enemy supports to switch their attention. They can no longer concentrate on healing the people in front of them. They have to make sure they're landing all their skill shots. They're trying to sleep and trying to, you know, potentially sleep the Tracer in the background and try to use that to their advantage. The sound barrier will come out, meaning that there is enough support damage on that side, but Cruz will be taking down Dids. But Drodo has knocked down Morte, so that's one last support that can happen. But Drodo is getting taken apart because he's not paying attention to Voltage in the backline. Shu is trying his best to stay on the car and buy some more time, and that bomb will go down. Doesn't really take anyone, doesn't really get stuck to anyone, but the side of TBA just being able to rip through them. Pale Goldenrod just doesn't seem to have an answer to them. 4 minutes and 44 seconds for this last push.
Yeah, Pale Goldenrod honestly just looked like they were tossing bodies at the cart at this point. They switched onto Winston at one point to try and help deal with Genji and Tracer buzzing all around the backline, but he's just not that effective right now. They're not going to try to switch characters to outgun them, which I think is interesting. That is certainly an option. Just go Genji and Tracer of your own and try to out-frag, but Dids has his visor available here. You got Sound Barrier coming out here for the attackers, and the defense is actually just starting to fall there to that Soldier ultimate of unfixed. Valutage, of course, still in the back line looking for the squishies as well. Dids used, oh no, he did not use his attack visor. I thought he did, but there at the end, but he'll be happy to have that on the next defense opportunity. Unfixed, Valutage and Cruz still just staying jammed in the faces of the defender spawns, and there's really not a whole lot they can do about that. Pulse Bomb actually comes out and gets the kill on Dref. That's another great start here for ex-REUNITED.
Yeah, they're not even letting them outside of the map right now. Cruz still has an ult that finally will go down without using the ultimate, but Voltage just doesn't care. He's like, yeah, you know what? We don't really need Cruz on this team whatsoever. We're just gonna drill it down. And the Primal Rage is gonna get melted down so quickly, especially with that Zenyatta Discord Orb amplifying the amount of damage on there. And 3 minutes 32 seconds. That cart never really stopped, actually.
Yeah, pretty easy push straight through the second stretch. I think they got gummed up just a little bit. Kind of an extended fight that ex-REUNITED still managed to win despite losing several members very quickly, but lots of time available still if it does go to extra rounds. But it feels like ex-REUNITED is just playing on another level now. Pale Goldenrod have not looked at all like they did earlier in the day's games, but this could be their chance. They basically have a pretty tall order here, not just to win this map, but also the next on Nepal if they can make it that far. So pretty rough battle against them. You know, I think ex-REUNITED has shown that they're here to play and they want to get out of the groups. They don't want to be embarrassed. First time playing together really since Apex that I've seen. So trying to definitely make a good impression after losing that series earlier on.
Yeah, so let's talk about what the side of Pale Goldenrod can realistically do. Their backs are against the wall. If they lose this, they're out of the tournament completely. And the funny thing is, in a way, you know what REUNITED or TBA is going to be running. So what do they have to change? Is it just, you know, they have to outplay them a little better, or is it a compositional change they really need to make sure that they're able to confront this dive composition that's being run?
Well, the comp that they were running, Winston, I just feel like was not being as effective as you would want him to be as the counter to Genji and Tracer. I think, honestly, more damage may have just come in handy, and barring all that, just May's survivability on the cart could slow down the actual core pushing characters, so that Genji, Tracer, even if they do secure kills, the cart doesn't necessarily move as easily, but who knows? There's probably a lot of different things they could have done there. I think just the Winston was not living up to his potential. I don't know that he could, though, as the ex-REUNITED guys are just playing super well right now, hitting all their ultimates. You know, even when they don't have ults, the long strung out fights tend to go the way of Valutage and Cruz in this matchup.
Yeah, and right now Dids is back on the Soldier, trying to do his best to advance on the payload, and Cruz just tempting him a little bit, saying, like, okay, you know what, I'm going to show you where I am, before, you know, reverting back to his position on top. And this is where it's going to get very, very difficult to initially play. The side of ex-REUNITED playing very safe on the top of Big Earl's, the gas station, obviously, trying to just rain down damage. They're just trying to play as close as they are. They're going to force them to come very close to the point where they can then attack the payload as they seem fit. And Voltage, I think, honestly, has been such a menace in the background, and now will be dealing so much damage. No one's looking at him. The Anonade does reduce a lot of healing. Will get the recall to get the damage back up front. Dodges a potential hook from the side of a Pseudo, who has been such a strong player overall. But Voltage being able to catch out shoot just in time, and Drodo just isn't long for this world. Voltage is still staying alive. I don't know what's going on here. How are they not able to take him down? Drift just can't even trace him down at all, and Dids meanwhile will be running away. Voltage, I would be hard pressed to figure out if he's even died this match.
Yeah, I don't know. They would basically just have to switch their entire composition. I think if they're going to try to deal with this, Winston might actually be a better option here on offense than it was on defense, but we'll just have to see if they end up switching or not. You know, you've had Soodle doing a great job with the Roadhog, but he doesn't seem to be hitting hooks anymore. Dreft here on the Zarya building up toward that Graviton Surge could be very useful to try and break through here, but as it is, Cruz, Unfixed, and Valutage are just attacking from different angles. Even Lucio, Morte on the back line at this point just booping people in various directions, trying to stay on the cart as much as he can, is being disruptive. Unfixed here launching the attack visor. Valutage gets a double pulse bomb kill as well as a kill off the back of it. Cruz gets a dash kill, and that's a full team wipe again. ex-REUNITED hanging strong in front of the gas station here. Pale Goldenrod really only have a couple of opportunities to break free here. They still haven't even done enough damage on Zarya to generate a Graviton Surge yet.
Yeah, and this is where it's kind of a big deal. I switched on to Dids to make sure to check, hey, maybe he'd be able to use his attack visor to pick off some squishy targets. It just doesn't look like he's able to execute, because the moment he executes, he's going to get dived on by the enemy team, who looks specifically to shut them down. And Voltage in the background is making this so much of a bigger issue that Dragon Blade does come out, and now he's just going after the Zarya, trying to stop any shields. Drodo trying to swing as much as he can, but cannot rotate enough. His DPI obviously is not high enough to do anything there, but Sharik will get the kill feed on there with that triple kill instead. And you know, that's something we haven't really talked about, the fact that Winston, in addition to this composition, makes it so hard, right? Because everyone wants to deal with, with Cruz on the Genji, and they want to deal elsewhere with Voltage, but they are ignoring the fact that this Winston can equally do as much damage if left unattained.
As Shu breaks down the sound barrier there to get started, this is Pale Goldenrod's last chance. Pseudo launches the Whole Hog ult as well. Does get a lot of damage, but can't find the kills for our Valutage and Rubicon, both staying safe on the high ground there. Dids needs to really find those targets. Unfixed is kind of just sitting there by himself and still manages to get 2 kills. Helix Rocket goes out on Pseudo to get the kill. Rubicon is down on the side of the defense. Dids is still standing. He needs to just find the kill on Unfixed. If he could go down, this cart could be so much further along. They're actually backing off. They're actually giving them ground again because they could not finish off that push the way they needed to. Drodo's back with Reinhardt, but so is the entire enemy team, except for Lucio, who's just now getting there with the rest of his teammates. So they had the full advantage, and now they're back for another round.
Yeah, and this Earthshatter is going to be so key. And remember, they don't have a Reinhardt to do it, but Voltage doesn't even care. Pulse Bomb takes down 2 people. They've got the Surge. Yes, it keeps everyone alive, but that's just not nearly enough. You cannot allow so many people to go down before you even do anything at all. Pseudo just getting knocked out of his cart, and there's just not enough time left. There's 4 seconds left on the clock. I think this is GG. You can't make it back onto the cart in time. Oh man, but yes, it looks like Dids does make it on, but fortunately will be taken out, and it looks like for the majority of the time, there's just no answer to that. TBA coming out with authority, preventing them from even taking 1 point through this in course of this losers consolation final. We will be seeing ex-REUNITED tomorrow, and ex-REUNITED, this is a great revenge statement. They lose 2-0 in the first round, but hey, they were just getting started. Pushed through 2-0 against Oz Alliance, and now 2-0 against Pale Goldenrod. They're gonna go on to the next stage, and they're gonna go into the playoffs. And let's look at what Cruz has been able to do. Voltage got those 2 kills, so I'm not gonna credit him entirely for it. But how do you, if you're a team watching this VOD and you just saw how good REUNITED has been, what is your next option? What do you do now? Like, how do you counter this?
A lot of beam characters that you don't have to aim very well, like Symmetra, Winston. If you can just, run the bug zappers basically on defense, maybe you'll have a better shot. I think Torb Sim did pretty well for one of the teams earlier today. That might have been an option if they started with it, but switching to it obviously not great either. But either way, ex-REUNITED, this is the team that we expected to see earlier today. When we had our very first match of this group, it was Pale Goldenrod versus ex-REUNITED. We thought it was going to be Stomp. This is the Stomp that we expected to see back then. Pale Goldenrod started the day off really well there, but actually in the end managed to fall to both the ex-Rocks and ex-REUNITED squads. And it's funny that two former organization signed teams were the ones to actually exit this group in the end, unfortunately for Oslo Lions and Pale Goldenrod, which both played very admirably today. Actually, all of our teams throughout competition today in our cast, Group B and Group D, have been pretty surprising. A lot of the series went the full distance. We had one draw/extra match in this most recent series, but basically everyone played better than I would have expected, and the top 16 European teams that played here can all feel pretty good about their matches today. Only 8 teams obviously advance to tomorrow, where we've got a single elim bracket for those 8 teams, but you know, I'm gonna be pretty satisfied with pretty much anyone who wins this tournament now.
Yeah, I think honestly this was always something a lot of people have been clamoring about. I cannot stop reiterating how much everyone wanted to see more EU Overwatch, and this is a great opportunity to. And of course, guys, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with us through this super long day, and for everyone who started watching from the very first game when I can't forget who was our first game. Was it man, I had to go back.
It's LDLC Gamers Origin or something.
Yeah, like LDLC Gamers Origin, and that was our first game 7 hours, almost 8 hours ago, actually. But thank you guys so much for sticking around and hanging out with us, and most importantly, supporting, EU Overwatch. We peaked at around like 2.5 thousand views, which is honestly great considering of all the other tournaments that are going on in addition to this one. But thank you guys so much for supporting EU Overwatch. And once again, I want to shout out some of our sponsors. Shout out so much to StriveWire for being our title sponsor. It's where we're running the brackets. If you want to do exclamation mark bracket, you'll see the GosuGamers one, but everything behind the scenes is actually taking place at StriveWire. Thank you so much for them. Also, thank you so much for Phoenix.gg. They're our brand new team that's more than happy to help sponsor the EU scene. They contributed a decent amount to the prize pool, and they are more than happy to see this competition flourish. And last but not least, thank you so much for Nookie, who has been our tournament admin for the day. She's the one who got all this run together, basically invited all the teams, made sure all the sponsors were ready, got all the casters together, and also has contributed a little bit, a significant amount actually, to the pool herself. But I think this has been a great tournament so far. I'm honestly speechless. A lot of great high quality games, and I'm glad everyone in chat. Hope you guys all enjoy the games that we've been putting on. And yeah, do you have any sign offs before we close this cast for today?
Just thanks everybody for watching. I'm Ask Joshi on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. I stream basically 7 days a week, so if you enjoyed the casting today, I hope you would consider giving me a follow there as well. It was a great, like you said, almost 8 hours today. I think it's going to be significantly shorter tomorrow, but we will be back again at 7 a.m. my time. That's 10 a.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Central European time. So I hope to see you guys again there tomorrow. Bring some friends this time. Let's see if we can get some more viewers for these top EU teams.
Yeah, and myself, Wilson Scribes you. I've taken a break from the scene, so I'm not writing as much anymore, but I will be casting because I love EU Overwatch, and I want to cast a lot more for these guys. But you guys can find a lot of my content on Twitter at ScribeOW. I do have a Twitch, although I don't really use it as much, so probably not worth following that just yet. But guys, thank you guys so much, and of course, be sure to be back and honestly tell a lot of people, let us know on Twitter how you guys felt about the casting. Thank you guys so much for helping us out with obviously the production stuff at the beginning. Thanks for being patient with making sure that we've been able to get that together. But yes, we are over for today, guys. And if you guys want to watch some more Overwatch action, I'm pretty sure the Overguard will be casting another tournament currently, so be sure to check that one out afterwards. And hey, check out any of the streams that are on for Overwatch. And if you guys are tired for Overwatch for today, I mean, it's fine. You feel free to just chill out and relax and be back here tomorrow morning for me, but afternoon for all of our EU fans. Once again, thank you guys so much. This has been the StriveWire monthly brawl for the month of February. We do have I think all of our playoff teams except for one right now. I want to say it's between Sidonia and Alternate, and hopefully they've been.
Sidiota did advance.
So Sidiota will advance. Man, that's awesome. 2-1. So we have our final 8 teams to leave you off with before we sign off. Our teams tomorrow will be the Chavs, OW.QQ, the Grand Dunois, Gamers Origin, Sodiota, Team Dignitas, and lastly from Group D, we will have TBA, which is the ex-REUNITED squad, as well as the ex-Rocks Tornado squad, advancing on to the playoffs. Single elimination, 8 teams. I'm super psyched for tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for watching. And from me and as Joshy, thank you guys so much for watching. And hope to see you guys tomorrow.
See ya.